Do it live.
We are live and direct into your living rooms from our livings. We are the Three Dude Store. I am the scandalous of music television, Greg Horn, host with the most. Somewhere at home, sitting on his couch, but we have his list. The Metal Maniac, J Meister.
Big J.
This guy, the legend, the man, the myth,
Yo, what's
Meister.
up? My 80s shades.
What's up, homie?
I'm not gonna wear those
saw
the
that.
whole time.
Oh, you're not gonna? I thought for sure you came.
It's got to represent the 80s.
Checked to the max, bro.
Yeah, I got my checkerboard Vans. Yeah, but I don't want to be in the dark the whole time.
I can't see anything. What the hell's going on?
So what's the topic?
We decided to take on, riff on, speak on the greatest one-hit wonders of the 80s.
The best decade for one-hit wonders, in my opinion.
I don't think you're wrong. Going through all this list, you look at it went back to like the 50s.
Yeah.
And there was like 10 in the 60s, and then all of a sudden the 70s exploded, and then the 80s was that, and then it just kind of dwindled from there. So yeah, the 80s was a fertile musical landscape.
And it kind of feels
so
like
many
the concept,
genres.
Oh yeah, the concept and the term one-hit wonder seems really 80s.
Yeah, you had so many different types of radio stations. You had fledgling MTV that would play a video, and you might not ever hit on that market again.
Yes,
all kinds of interesting stuff going on.
In a lot of ways, MTV probably has a big hand in being a one-hit wonder of the era.
Yeah, if you could get a video to hit, you might not ever. Would Twisted Sister ever broke big if those videos weren't so memorable? I mean, that album was great, but
yeah,
would it have been this big?
Not commercially, probably. No,
I don't think so either.
All of those hair metal bands benefited big time from the video age.
Big time.
Because you could show the whole world your image, and then the conceptual, visual side of it. You could give people this vicarious sense of what life is like for a rocker.
Yeah, and then some bands just couldn't figure it out. Like, you watch some of those old Saxon videos, and it's like, did you hit up like a Goodwill and just pick whatever?
Yeah.
My God,
bro. Then you got the ones that were trying to like whip out a chainsaw on their guitar or a buzzsaw. Not a chainsaw.
Oh, man, Blackie Lawless doing all kinds of nutty shit.
There was some band that was like in some steel mill, and they're taking a skill saw against their instruments or some shit, and sparks are flying off.
Sounds like something Jackal would do.
That was Jackal.
I can't stand
I'm pretty sure that was Jackal.
They have like one good song, and then
just from that description, it was Jackal.
Yeah, I know. I was trying not to give credence to that band at all.
But so we were talking
not sponsored, but if they would like to, I will.
This is some good stuff here,
right? Some good water,
good flavored water,
dude. I drink this stuff like it's going out of style.
We got no shame about plugging some products.
Zero. You throw money at us, we'll. I mean, as long as it's not shitty, as long as you're not a shitty company.
This guy could use some beard oil.
I could.
We'll do a commercial for that.
I've been neglecting my beard ever since, you got to wear a mask anyway. So I'm like, what's the point?
So we were kind of talking about the criteria for a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, it's going to be a little weird for sure.
We grew up in this era. We know many of these songs by heart, of course, and that's why we wanted to do this episode. But we referred to the internet, looked at some master lists.
I had to dig a little deep. I just didn't want to go the ones off the top of my head.
Yeah, so we looked at the top 100 80s greatest one-hit wonders, and we know right off the bat that some of those artists had more than one hit.
Yes, and I think I was going to wait until it clipped into my list to but I think we both had the same rumination of
Yeah.
some of these artists have.
We'll get more specific about
have
it
a
as
couple,
we go.
but
We'll get more
even though they
specific.
might have two, that second one or that third one wasn't as big as the first one, so they're still looked on as a
And there's also artists that would have a big charting hit in the United States, and then they would seem to go away, but continued to
in
have
Europe.
hits in
England,
Japan,
big time.
So it was kind of, my estimation is, if you surveyed average people, would they know anything but this one song by this artist, generally speaking? And so I kind of use that as my basis. Some are clearly one-hit wonders, didn't do anything else.
Yes.
So you'll see. We'll get more specific about it.
Some of these, like much like our "Why Didn't They Ever Hit" video, some of these you're like, man, how did you never recapture this magic? You seemingly had everything going for you.
Well, and also some of these bands that are considered one-hit wonders did have other great material, but maybe it just didn't chart, or it came in really low and
definite.
It just didn't make the smash hit level for them for whatever reason.
And now we're in the 2020s, and is the term even relevant anymore? It seems like everything on the radio is just trashy fluff that isn't even worth listening to. I can listen to the radio at work sometimes. I try to put it on the oldies, the classic station that plays all the good stuff, but sometimes, you got to let your coworkers.
Yeah.
And they put on like the stuff from contemporary artists, and it is horrible.
An ongoing debate about that kind of thing is are you stuck in your formative years, and that's kind of where your perception of good music lies, or is it an objective truth about whether or not the music's good or bad? If I was to look back on say the 2000 to 2010, or and see what the big chart hits were then, I might go, oh yeah, I remember that song, that was pretty good. Maybe I didn't love it at the time or whatever, but the idea of it being a big hit and registering as a one hit, or some band that really had something sensational going on, that's tough for me.
Being a fringe fan, right? Or if you're a metalhead, you're kind of on the fringe anyway. In the 80s, it seemed like there was never a shortage of fresh, unique things to listen to. You'd hear all kinds of different things that you'd hear, like your Rhythmics and Culture Club and Tapow and something else, like back to back to back. And now everything seems so homogenized, and
that's the way it seems to me.
One of my giant rants that I've been bottling up is this driver's license song. It just speaks on the hypocrisy of the music industry. Now, I don't want to destroy this entire human's existence. She's obviously talented. Writing wise, I don't know if she wrote it or whatever, but she's a fucking psycho.
I don't even know what
you're
this
16,
is.
You got your driver's license, and now you're lamenting the fact that your boyfriend isn't with you. You talked about celebrating this moment. You're 16. Your fucking relationship's not supposed to last forever. It's meant to be.
Yeah.
If a boy sang that song about driving by a girl's house all the time because she broke up with him, red flags would be going up everywhere, and we'd be like, okay, chill out, dude, you're a fucking psycho. But because a female sings it, it's cool. You can kill someone's rabbit and stab them when their wife's out of town and stuff. Like, that's who she turns into. Is Glenn Close from the fucking
That just
movie.
sounds dark. I don't relate to that.
Yeah.
I think in the 80s, and I'm not trying to completely trash on modern pop music, but I do feel like the sentiments and the tropes and the language in the lyrics was more clever. It was more sweet. I don't know.
As much as you hate to generalize the music, look at how many great things you had. New wave, you had new romantic, you had synth pop, you had synth wave, you had all these different kinds of styles.
Heavy
what do you
metal,
have
pop
today?
metal. I don't know, dude. I just don't relate to it as much. I try to find some good stuff in there, but as far as pop radio goes, young people, I guess, can relate to it better than we can. We're starting off sounding like old fogies here, but
it's terrible.
But we want to dive back into what we think is one of the greatest times in pop music history.
Era of music, the best era. And with that said, with that segue, so
let's clear off those
negative
cobwebs
laid through. As always, we're going to go over our honorable mentions, and then we are going to count down. But we're not doing just 5. How do you do just 5? So we went light on the honorable mentions, 5 or so, and then our top 20.
I already screwed up.
Oh, okay.
I did top 5, and then I did all the rest of them.
All right, so just make your last 5 your honorable mentions, and then go from there.
I'm sorry, I got screwed up on that.
This week, Jason has a tremendous list.
I do remember you telling me that was the format, and then I reversed it in my mind.
While I'm going over my 5 honorable mentions, you can just seize on your opportunity. Right off the bat, 1987, you're going to notice that somehow a lot of my picks are from 87. That was just a magical year. The Grateful Dead's only song that ever charted, ever.
As far as I'm concerned, the only Grateful Dead song that matters.
Oh, I love the Grateful Dead.
I love that song, dude. I thought about putting it on my list. I didn't, but
I have a feeling we're going to say that a lot with each other today.
I love that song.
Number 9 on the Billboard mainstream rock track, only Dead track to hit on both the mainstream rock track and the Billboard Hot 100. The only Dead song to top in the 40, in the Billboard 40.
Wow.
So
they did it right.
They did it right.
They made a good pop song.
And again, MTV played the hell out of that.
That video was iconic, dude.
Yeah.
Sort of animated skeletons that replaced the band members halfway through the video or something.
Double drummers. People were like, wow, like metal bands are like, the Grateful Dead's playing double drummers. Like, how come we don't have 2 drummers? Can you imagine early Metallica where Lars is like, dudes, I got an idea. 2 drummers, bro.
Yeah, why hasn't there been a metal band with 2 drummers?
They probably can't figure out how to play.
The Melvins did it.
For a heartbeat.
For a while. For a couple years.
Dale Crover was probably like, fuck this, dudes.
They were having fun with it, but they didn't want to keep that forever.
Right, just like we talked about, you had 2 hits, but you still, that second one didn't really, thanks to K-Tel Records, I know who Robbie Dupree is. In 1980, he came out with the song Steal Away, number 6 on the Billboard chart, now looked fondly upon as yacht rock. He did also hit with Hot Rod Hearts, which was on a K-Tel collection that I had, which is how I know who he is.
I know Robbie Dupree,
and,
but that song
he's still looked at as the one-hit wonder, even though he kind of had 2.
Yeah.
1986, I still to this day don't know what the hell cherry wine is, but Jermaine Stewart wanted to drink some.
That song was so close to being on the list.
We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time.
One thing that I didn't tell you is I played 4 hours worth of one-hit wonders
to get in your mind, get the mindset right.
Yeah, and
that's brilliant.
I also just love that stuff.
It's the best.
I fanatically collect 80s 45 singles and anything else, 12 inches, the full albums, whatever. But so I sort of studied the VH1 top 100 list, and I think another list I found. And so when I got home after work yesterday, I just went through all my 80s and was just pulling out, oh, yeah, that was on the list. That was on the list.
I perused that list, and then I had a couple other ones that weren't on any of these lists. And then if I could sing a lot of it in my head. I was like, yeah, this is a baller. This
Yeah,
is going on
totally.
the list.
Well, that Jermaine Stewart
The
song.
hardest part I had was when I had my list, ranking it.
Yeah.
That was.
I kind of
that was
steered away
hard.
from ranking it. It just seemed.
I jumped into the pool.
I ranked my top 5, which it was supposed to be top 20. But anyway, that Jermaine Stewart song, I listen to that song all the time.
Love that song.
It's one of my favorite tunes.
I almost double dipped in that to make it a twofer, but I saved that for later. Hit number 5 on the Billboard charts. Looked as a reflection on modesty in the AIDS era. But it is a catchy, wonderful tune.
Yeah, I got what you're talking about. Yeah.
From a metaphorical tune about you could, say whatever, to very much not a metaphor at all, just straight out telling you what's up.
Yeah.
1987, Midnight Oil, Beds Are Burning, of this band. 17 on the Billboard charts. It's about Aboriginal land rights in Australia because they were a highly politically charged band, and he's a politician now. Love that band. So ahead of its time.
Again, an example of a band that shouldn't be considered a one-hit wonder band
should
at
not.
all. But that song was so big and overshadowed everything they did commercially.
Red Sky Mine or Blue Sky Mine. And they had a couple of they had some strong.
Yeah, I came in digging them on their Red Sails in the Sunset album. That was a bit more
Diesel and Dust.
Yeah, that one was
Diesel and Dust was the one that dropped big.
Yeah, the Red Sails one was a bit more coming out of the post-punk new wave vibe, where Diesel and Dust was a little bit more alternative rock, I'd say.
I think Paul's Boutique came out in 89, 88, somewhere in there. 87, a band drops a song that hit number 13 on the Billboard chart that has 30 samples in it. I counted them. They listed them all.
Wow.
And I counted them all. There were 30. I can't even tell you all. I would take all the rest of the show. The title of the song came from an Eric B. and Rakim song, I Know You Got Soul, by Mars with 2 R's.
Oh.
Pump Up the Volume.
Damn. You mentioned the Beastie Boys just because of the density of the samples.
Because of the density. Okay. Did they get some of the idea from this? I know I pitched you the curveball for a
little detour and it hit me. Okay.
Right? So did they get a little bit of the idea from this song? This song is so heavy. There's so many samples in this track.
I'm not going to say whether or not this song's on my list, but I was thinking about that song takes you through this journey of sort of club beats and
it is a progression
hip-hop,
of
b-boy vibes and all that stuff. It's like it's the most slamming club tune.
It is so infectious. Just doesn't matter. Again, a lot of these things are. It does not matter what genre of music you like best. We are 2 total metalheads that love this stuff because it's catchy and fun and unique.
Oh yeah.
So that was my 5 honorable mentions.
Do you know of anything else that Mars did?
No, apparently they had some internal strife that kind of
that song is
pulling them in different directions. So
that song is so.
I don't even know that they ever really should have been a band. They just kind of.
Yeah, I have loved that song forever. It's so epic to me, that track.
Yes, I love it.
It almost feels weird to think of them as a one-hit wonder, but I think it's definitively a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, in the most definitive.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes hand in hand with my love of the band Technotronic.
Yeah.
It came out in 90, 89, 90. So they didn't quite, I don't think by the time they hit it, it really made the list. But man, that it's so reminiscent.
Yeah.
I'm
a big fan of all that stuff. Another group that kind of came before Technotronic, and then you had, of course, CNC Music Factory and stuff. Mantronics came in the early to mid 80s. And so Pump Up the Volume is kind of in between. Mantronics had Needle to the Groove. They weren't a one-hit wonder, but they kind of stayed in the underground. They broke out commercially a little bit, but it was still kind of in the underground, and it was this kind of blend of hip-hop and dance club culture.
When B and I sat around after the show or sometimes before the show, and I am a giant lover of the mashup, the well done mashup, and this song is almost a precursor to all that. It's like they took all these things and blended them together and came out with, you know, and it's just the strength of other things that, you know, this list, you can rank it however you want, but it's so razor thin, the margins of who goes where and who goes what, because this is an amazing track that you should listen to at length, because I'm sure there's like 7,000 like extended mixes and all that goodness.
So you did five honorable
mentions, top 20.
Man,
I ranked my top 20.
So I kind of have a ranked top 5,
and then
but I think I'll just, man, how do I
save your top 5 for the top 5 and just make everything else.
But these are unranked. Okay, cool. So honorable, we'll just go right off of what we just talked about.
I'm glad that you brought stuff to show, since I have nothing to.
I have most of these singles.
Love it.
So yeah, I play this all the time as well.
I
can't get enough of this tune.
It's just great. It's just great.
Here's a song that would probably rank pretty high on a list of one-hit wonders from the 80s. My Sharona, The Knack.
I thought that was My Bologna. Incomparable.
You know, they had a whole album, and people look fairly fondly on that album, but nobody knows any other track by this group.
Good Girls Don't, but I do.
Yeah.
Which I think is better than that song.
It may be, but that's an iconic tune. I thought of it as a one-hit wonder.
With the skinny ties?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing that makes that song really stand out is that guitar solo in it. It's like
seemingly out of nowhere.
Yeah, the song itself has this iconic feel to it, and it's kind of a dippy song, but that guitar solo always gets the respect.
It's got a nice little riff in it.
All-time classic. I guess these are all going to look backwards.
When it flips around when you watch it on the it'll be fine.
Toni Basil put out some other singles, but she was really a dancer, and she was a choreographer, and probably an actress.
100% anyone that watches this just got that song stuck in their head. 100%.
And so really, I think this is a great example of a one-hit wonder, because her recording career was kind of a secondary move. But she did have some great commercial success with that.
Kind of in the same way that Julie Brown did.
Yeah, she put out music too. Yeah, and I actually have
funnier kind of.
I have another single in my that'll appear at some point that is another example like that. A secondary career move.
Oh, you say. I might have something up my sleeves.
Yeah. Nobody knows any other song by this group, even though this group has a half a dozen amazing records. They're more of a kind of art experimental, weird pop group. The song "Oh Yeah" by Yellow, famously in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
But I have this memory also of a Twix commercial, I think. And it's probably been heard. It's been used in other things. Yeah, it's a great tune.
When that's heavily in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Secret of My Success.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Yellow rules, but that song is very much a standalone one-hit wonder. And okay, I'm not giving you a lot of background information about these, but this is one of my favorite songs ever. I've loved it since I first heard it in the mid 80s, maybe 84, 85. This guy looked weird. He looked kind of dorky, kind of
the era for that.
Kind of like he dressed kind of like, oh man, I don't even know how to describe it. Like if Michael Jackson was doing aerobics or something, like, and he had kind of a big curly hair and a really big goofy mustache. Matthew Wilder, Ain't Nothing Gonna Break My Stride.
But is anything going to hold you down? Oh, no.
Not me. No. I'm going to keep on moving.
I'm going to keep on moving.
I guess I showed it wrong.
The best part of 45, 45s are the art they choose to be on it and then what's on the B-side.
Yeah. Yeah. And, of course, a lot of 45s have B-sides that are better than the A-sides. This, of course, just has an instrumental on the B-side.
You didn't know you needed it, but you do.
I think mainly because this guy didn't have anything else.
Have you ever played the B-side on that? Have you ever just put that on just to hear it? I don't want to hear him sing today.
Probably only accidentally. Just
so you can you can start your mashup career.
I probably just put the wrong side on, and then after a minute went, oh, there's no vocals happening. Okay. But this is a great song, man. Don't sleep on Matthew Wilder, even though he only has one tune. All right, well, keeping with your format, that's my honorable
That's your five. All right, let's go through. Jay originally gave me 5, and I was like, bro, you can up the ante. It's too hard to come up with 5. So he got quite a list. Tarzan Boy by Baltimora.
I love that song so much. Good job, Jay.
He was already going hardcore.
I'm proud of Jay for picking that one.
Because of his undying love for Patrick Swayze in the movie Roadhouse and Red Dawn. She's Like the Wind, like sways. It's got some safety
who
dance.
Are the sways?
That was my little nickname.
That's a good tune, man. He had a voice.
Yeah, actors who can sing. Maybe put a pin in that. Safety Dance, Men Without Hats.
That's a big one.
Toy Soldiers, Martika.
Oh, that was close to being on my list.
I love Kids Incorporated. Yep, I don't know why, but I do. Funny toy soldier story. So my friend who I grew up with, George Slotritz, got a job working at Tom's Sourdough Pizza when this song was prominent, and Tom's Sourdough was kind of split into two. The part where they made the pizza was kind of in the middle, and then you had like a family section on one side, and then you had the video game section on the other side where the jukebox was. And he said that kids would come in after school and play this song over and over and over. And he was like, I hate that song so much.
Dude, just as a sideline, every time I drive by that building where Tom Sourdough was, it bums me out. I hate that it's some random office thing or whatever
like a chiropractor building or something. Yeah, man, that was a staple of our childhood.
And I watched the debut episode of Kids Incorporated with my little sister. I remember knowing that it was going to debut, and my parents let me put the TV in my room, and my little sister is 6 years younger than me. I think I was about 10, I guess. I loved that show, man.
Follow Kids Incorporated on Instagram.
For real?
Yeah, they got some fan sites on Instagram. My brain did not let it click that one of the prominent members of Kids Incorporated was the thuggy guy from Monster Squad.
Oh,
I was like, wait, what? That's the same kid?
Really?
Get the hell out of here.
I haven't put that together.
Yeah.
But I did recognize Fergie as soon as she busted out.
Mario Lopez on drums. And
so he did Kids Incorporated before.
Yeah.
Before the Saved by the Bell.
He was a little kid on that. And now their names escape me. Jennifer Love Hewitt was on it.
Oh man,
as Love Hewitt. There was another guy that I can't recall his name now, but I never knew he was on it. And then towards the later seasons, Anna Horn was on it. And last name spelled the same name as my last name, and you don't see that very often. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and say that we're cousins. That's my cousin on there.
Man, you're related to the
Probably.
girl from Kids Incorporated?
Maybe. I don't know. Anna
Yeah.
Horn, if you're out there watching this for some reason, hit up your boy. We might be related. Beds Are Burning, Midnight Oil, Forever Young, Alphaville.
Wow.
You know, could it be? Might be. Big in Japan was also big in Japan. Love that band. Far From Over, Frank Stallone, because it's Jay. Love Plus One, Haircut 100. Harden My Heart by Quarter Flash. Rappin' Rodney.
Yep.
You had to drop a little Rodney Dangerfield love.
I have that single.
If you recognize the name Paul Lukakis, you'd probably be the only person that did, but you'll definitely know Boom, 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 Let's Go Back to My Room.
Oh, my God.
So we can do it all night.
Oh, my God.
And I can make you feel right. Love that
Paul
song.
who?
Lukakis.
I would never have come up with that
Canada's
song,
own Red Rider,
Red Rider.
Lunatic Fringe off the soundtrack to Vision Quest. Party All the Time by the Eddie Man.
Yep.
Written by
Rick James.
Thank you.
Eddie Murphy. That's a great tune. But
Waiting for a Star to Fall, which I hate. I hate this fucking song. Because then at the end they do that whole little Freebird.
Huh. Who's that by?
Boy Meets Girl.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not too hip on that tune.
Yeah, I hate their cheesy cover of that song I already hate. Major Tom by Peter Schilling.
I do like that one a lot.
Heartbeat by Don Johnson. Who doesn't love that song?
So Jason's really big on actors with the one-hit wonders.
I even got him with some trivia on that song. I busted out some unique trivia I know, but maybe I'll save it for later. Your Love by The Outfield.
That's a good tune.
That is
a good tune.
Friggin' great
The
tune.
only thing that weirds me out about that is it has a similar feeling to Men at Work, but they were both Australian.
Yeah.
The guy's
voice.
voice.
That Men at Work dude could write some great songs.
Colin Hay.
Yeah. Man, that first record that they put out that I can't recall the name of now was
Business as Usual.
So good. That was such a great.
Oh, dude, that record still kicks. Man.
And Rock Me Amadeus by Falco, and you could get it in English or in German.
Indeed.
So that's like a two-hit wonder.
I'm kind of wondering if Jason verified that those are all legitimate one-hit wonders.
I'm gonna say no. And which is even more impressive if he came off of that whole list off the top of his head.
Yeah.
I am so impressed by that.
I would question a couple of those, but there's going to be a little fudging going on because we're going based on our perception that nobody else really thinks of any other song when you mention that artist.
For sure.
And I think that's fair of most of his picks.
And the thing about it is we're such music geeks. We're probably the only ones that know that they do have other songs.
Yeah. So the point's kind of moot, I guess.
And I think that I'm just going to let Jay riff longer list because, man, that list was gems.
Well, and the great thing is that he always throws us some curveballs, too. So he makes you think,
out of left field with some stuff that I'm just like, God, I love you, dude.
Like the fact that one of his favorite hits of the 80s is by Don Johnson, just right off the bat. He's like, oh, yeah, that DJ track.
Oh, man. I can still see the video frame for frame, dude. Love it. All right.
You had some good picks on there, man.
I did. You can not rank yours if you want. Sometimes I never look at the stickers that are on the back of mine. You can not rank yours if you want, but I ranked mine. I went extra mile.
I ranked the top 5, but beyond that, it just felt like it was scrambling my brain too much. I'm looking at all the ones I had picked out, and I'm like, I'm trying to rank these.
I did rank them. And speaking of number 20, since we're talking about Mr. Lukakis, 1987, number 43 on the Billboard chart. So again, is it a hit if it's outside of the top 40? But what the hell? Number 6 on the dance charts. Number 1 in your heart. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go back to my room. I don't think that dude ever. I don't even know that he ever sang another song after that.
I know the title, but I don't even remember the song. It's certainly not the dude's name.
I never heard his name before looking it up, but that song was just hilarious. I mean, you sing about like, let's go back to my room so we can do it all night. Come on, bro. Like, you're doing it for a half hour tops. You're totally disappointing that chick.
I always think about that when they talk about going all night and stuff. We're gonna do it all night long.
No, you're not. You got 25 minutes.
Yeah.
You got 25 minutes. You got 10 maybe good minutes. 25 tops.
I mean, maybe if you took breaks like a porn star.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Really? That's it? You said all night you were gonna make me feel right. I didn't come once."
I'm suspicious of even people I know when they talk about going all night. I'm like, I don't know.
It's like, why do you want a threesome? You want to disappoint two girls at the same time? Like,
is
come
that
on.
just really just a figure of speech?
It might be. I think it is.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to rock and roll all night and party every day?
Usually,
you gotta have a break in there for some caffeine or some.
Usually, plus there's the
Yeah.
Usually, once you go once.
No, you're
fizzled
for
out,
at least
man.
a good few hours.
Fizzled out.
Come on.
People are full of it.
You're like, it's looking at you like, what? Come on, bro. I need to take a nap.
It's like they never got out of grade school where they're trying to top their friends. You know?
Love that. I love that about this song.
It's almost like the precursor to like that stupid Robin Thicke bullshit or something.
Yeah. Well, at least this is way more catchy than Robert, whatever his name is. I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll just consider that whatever order I have these in is the ranking.
Absolutely. At least your top 5 ranked.
Yeah. So this song has been important to me since it came out. For some reason, it just had this mystique about it, and it was just catchy, and there was a cool video and everything. But Putting on the Ritz by Taco.
You just like it because his name is Taco.
Yeah, that was part of it. Like, who's called Taco?
Did he have a partner named Burrito?
a partner named Grande. Putting on the Ritz, man. There was no other song like it.
No, that was a pretty unique. Again, in the 80s, where you could be unique and clever and fun, and
it was this new wave
would
take
never
on the
get
20s.
Released today.
No,
yeah,
no.
They were wearing like
super duper. You could maybe do a future thing, like Janelle Monáe fuses kind of like James Brown into like the future Android kind of thing or something.
Yeah, she's a uber talented human being
for sure. But this guy was the top hat, the cane, the wand,
the weird voice,
and talking and singing in a weird voice. Yeah, trying to sound like it was a microphone from the 20s. But anyway, I think a great tune, and to me still slaps. I think most people agree. You drop this in a dance party, and people are going to be stoked.
I agree. Didn't make my list, but 1980, much in the same way that Robbie Dupree gets my love for K-Tel Records. And if you're of a certain age, when I say K-Tel Records, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The label that put all of these crazy hits onto one record,
right?
And
that's how we got exposed to certain.
You'd
things.
get them for like $3.99 at Payless or something. And I still have my copy of The Magic of ABBA from K-Tel Records, a double record set of all the lovely hits with a gatefold of all those beautiful.
God, I wonder if that was issued before ABBA Gold.
Yeah,
because ABBA Gold became the standard.
Yeah, I don't remember getting that
ABBA,
until
that's
CDs
cool.
became prominent in the Magic.
Yeah,
way before that. So 1980, the SOS Band, Take Your Time. Number 3 on the Billboard chart, number 1 on the R&B chart, number 1 on the dance chart, and then they kind of imploded and the lead singer went off in their way. But it's funky. It's got a great vocal. It's got a nice little guitar part. It was super awesome. SOS Band's dope.
That's cool. All right. Oh yeah, I put this together as a
You got
double.
to. You have to, though. You have to, though. You have to. You have to.
I had a feeling.
All right, just look at. No,
tip.
you got it. You can't separate the
So Kajagoogoo. The chorus is
that's such a great.
The chorus is memorable. Everybody knows this chorus. Too shy, shy, hush, hush, IUI.
Yeah,
which we don't know what that means.
I have no idea.
But it's a great song beyond being an iconic one-hit wonder because the music is very sophisticated. The bass line and rhythm groove.
Tight.
Yeah, and it's kind of this kind of coming out of a jazz funk kind of background, maybe even. These guys were total musicians, and really only this hit.
Yeah,
you're not going to find much else by these guys except when their singer.
Look at the hair, bro.
Dropped.
So jealous.
This gem from the Neverending Story, a beautiful, timeless song that takes you back to that fantasy of getting lost in a book.
When that fucking song first
and
dropped,
finding a luck dragon on your quest.
I thought that was a female singing it.
Oh yeah, who wouldn't?
And then I was like, wait, it's the Kajagoogoo guy? Yeah, that is
and
you can't separate
his
the two.
hair is like the cherry on
his
top
hair
of the whipped
is
cream on the sundae.
I hope that's his real hair too, and not a.
Oh, it is, dude. He was just trying to set himself apart, you know.
Man, if I could grow hair, I'd bring that look back. That's a great song.
Man, maybe the closest band hair-wise would be like Sieg Sieg Sputnik or something.
Yeah,
they had pretty wacky hair.
They had some crazy hair. That's a great track.
Never get sick of that.
I tried to. I'm not saying that I went esoteric just because I thought you were going to go mainstream, but I definitely, there were moments where I'm like, I hope we don't have the same thing going on. We might, as our lists get deeper. In '84, before the lead singer of this band went off to write jingles for TV shows and whatnot, I gotta give the hair a little love. Speaking of hair, a big push from MTV, hit number 29 on the Billboard, number 17 on the mainstream rock chart. It was used in Miami Vice, Grand Theft Auto, all kinds of stuff. It had an unusual video, and then they told you what to do in the song. Man, turn up the radio by Autograph.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That didn't even. Well, actually, I think I did see it in the list.
Way down, deep buried in the list.
I did see it in man, I gotta give
the glam metal a little love.
I'm glad you did, dude. That one didn't get onto my list.
Such a catchy track, such a fun tune,
dude. And as I was just starting to get into, I guess what I would call pop metal now, or back then we called it glam metal or whatever. Really, before thrash really took over, that was metal to us.
Yeah, and it got played on the radio where a lot of that other stuff didn't get any airplay. This was on the radio all the time, and you jammed out to it every single time.
Here's somebody that you remember, John Yee. Remember John Yee?
Mm.
He was in my grade.
You're
a grade ahead of me.
Yeah.
But, he was getting import tapes from Korea of that stuff because he was Korean.
Yeah. See,
so he was into that Autograph and turned me on to that. And that was kind of my gateway into getting into Rat and Motley Crue and all that stuff.
Much like Kiss holds the gate open so you can get into other stuff.
And I wish I had more Autograph records because I do think they were a good poppy, metallic pop rock band. But also they had that cover art.
Yes,
that artist that airbrushed the robot people.
I think he did
the sexy robots.
I think he did
he did an Aerosmith cover.
I think he did a couple Y&T covers too.
Possibly, yeah.
Their
albums were characterized by that sexy robot.
Sexy robot alien. That was number 18 for me. Number 18. Nice. Turn up, because what are you gonna do when you hear a good song? You turn up the radio.
I love that tune, dude.
Had a great hook. Had a great.
I think another track from that album was "Blondes in Black Cars."
Yes.
Yeah, good tune. All right, this better be on your list, bro.
Oh man, now you already know it's not going to be.
I'm throwing down the gauntlet.
I love it when you get all like.
I don't know if you can see that. classic phrase, "Pass the Dutchie."
Yeah, it is.
On the left-hand
I'm going to
side.
tell you that it isn't.
All right, man. That's all right. That's all right. That's why I brought it. That's an 80s bona fide one-hit wonder.
100%.
100%.
100%.
And everybody likes that tune when it comes
Yeah.
on.
I've never heard one person say, "Oh, I don't really like that." It's so catchy. And they were
little kids.
Little
And-
humans making awesome music.
1982, man. Unfortunately, I don't think they got to do anything else. I don't know if they were
And
dropping
is
records
not
somewhere else.
about-
But
it's not about the weed, guys. It's literally about not having enough food and passing the food bowl on the left-hand side so your friends can eat and stuff. So, yeah, man, get out of here.
just assumed that it was about.
I mean, it works
It fits now.
It
yeah,
works.
Yeah,
the other way, too. So,
indeed.
good on them for the double entendre.
There were so many songs that could have been on my list. It was really hard to say no.
It's
You're
hard to
not
get.
going to be on here.
That's why
I
each
just
one
felt-
did the top 100, not the top 20.
Yeah, exactly.
They were smart with it. Number 17. Again,
I like that number.
could have been. It's a wobbler. They had other tracks that you probably will definitely remember. This track was produced by the one and only Trevor Horn. Hit number 10 on the Billboard charts from 1983. Frankie Says Relax.
Oh, heck yeah.
By Frankie Goes to Hollywood. What
That one was one
Two
that
Tribes
was contentious.
was
Yeah, because they
awesome.
had two tribes. That was a pretty
But
big.
Relax was huge.
It was huge.
They had the shirts.
Two Tribes was big on MTV, but not as big.
And didn't
Uh,
Wham wear a shirt that said "Relax" at one point on one of their videos? Little Frankie Goes to Hollywood nod.
May have. And also, there was a late night version of the video for Relax that actually had nudity in it.
Yeah, I can only
It
imagine.
was
that
much
didn't
more
get
about
played.
the S&M thing that they were kind
Yeah.
of referring to.
Because they were alternative lifestyles, as we used to call back in the day.
Yeah, I remember my
no
parents.
disrespect intended.
My parents, who were a bit more conservative, they liked that song. They did not like the adult version of the video.
How did you not put two and two together what the song is about while he's singing it?
Well, I think my mom.
You don't got to flesh out too much about what this whole thing's about.
I think my mom kind of took the lyrics in a different way. I think she kind of liked the idea of restraint, but not to use in a ritualistic
Colloquialism,
sexual way. But I think it was Night Flight that had maybe
man. They're on Instagram too. I follow them on the gram.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
I love
I've
that
watched-
program.
I've followed Night Flight too. Yeah, so I remember seeing that at night, and my parents being like, probably shouldn't be watching this." So anyway,
What do you mean? I'm getting an education here. We went to Catholic school. You didn't get sex ed.
Yeah, no. But "Relax" by Frankie Goes to Hollywood,
Big track.
bona
big track,
fide classic
track.
80s track.
Big 80s track.
So this one does not register as a one-hit wonder. I don't know if it charted. I would think. I just don't know, and I didn't do much research, but there is no other song. The artist that made this song did compose a couple other pieces of music that were part of the soundtrack to the movie Breakin' and
Oh man.
Breakin' sequel Electric Boogaloo. But this is the song that people would recognize.
Yeah, dude, that's a great jam.
Ollie and Jerry, There's No Stopping Us. To me, just a timeless classic, feel-good tune. Just feels so triumphant and empowering.
I want my life to have a montage where that song plays
Yeah,
over the
heck
top
yeah,
of it.
dude. Exactly, man. So I just kind of went out on my own limb and said, this is a
That's a
one-hit
good
wonder.
call. That's a good call. I also went out on a limb for a song that I had to include.
I'm glad you did, man. I don't want you holding back.
Number 10 on the dance charts. number 22 on the hip hop and rap charts, number 30 on the Billboard Hot 100, also from 1987. And I don't know if this group ever did anything again. JJ Fad with Supersonic.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll just rank this at the same position as yours.
I came at this because I was going to put on Cars That Go Boom.
Mm-hmm.
That was going to be on there. I was like, oh, yeah, man, that was a great track. That had to be a one-hit wonder. And then as I was doing a little digging, JJ, I was like, this song was bigger.
Yeah.
This song was better. This is definitely hitting the list.
JJ Fad had a whole album, and I think there's another track on there that's pretty close to this one. Latrim with Cars That Go Boom also had another almost as good song. But yeah,
they actually had some flow. Like these ladies could actually get with it.
I was going to talk about that. Another thing that I think bona fides this as a one-hit wonder is that they went away.
Yeah, they just disappeared.
They did not put out a follow-up record.
And it was very hard for female rappers to break in the 80s.
There were not very many.
It's not like it was today where, you got a million of them. But.
And what label put that out?
Oh, yeah, Dre's Ruthless Records.
Produced by
Dre,
DJ Yella, executive producer.
Arabian Prince.
Executive producer is Eric E.
Yeah, well,
Wright.
he had that drug money, so he could front the.
So what you're talking about with their flow, the last 20 seconds of this song,
super fast.
They go into a super fast rap that I think precurses anything that came in the 90s, like E40 or Twista or shit like that, where people were starting to rap
doing
real fast,
super fast.
Yeah, they were doing it on this.
Yeah, they had some skills.
It is a dope tune, and they go into that super fast rap, and then it just ends abruptly. You don't even see the end of the song. So
one of our awesome viewers, go see if you can still get into their fan club. I want to know. The Fad.
Nice pick.
Yeah, had to go for that. All right. I knew we were going to. This is a little low, but I just couldn't.
Low blow?
No, just probably too low on my list. But sometimes one-hit wonders are so heartfelt that they just touch your feelers. And Tapow had one.
That one came close.
In 1987.
It was on the first draft of my list.
Heart and Soul. Mm-hmm. Number 4 on the Billboard charts. Got heavy airplay on Grand Theft Auto. And in my favorite episode of Black Mirror, the San Junipero. If you've ever seen that show and that episode.
I have it.
I don't even know how to explain it. It's like these two older lady, you can like click into this like alternate reality where you're young and you're in a club and it's kind of 80s setup. And,
okay. I wonder if that helped kind of revive that song a little bit, because I feel like I've heard people talking about that tune or saying what a great tune that is lately.
There are certain one-hit wonders that never seem to leave
the lexicon.
And this is one that always seems to get, and no matter how many times you hear it, you never get tired of it.
I never had their album as a kid, but I remember people, a couple friends maybe like, the Tapow. Tapow's awesome. And I'd be like, Tapow? What does that mean? What does that mean? Tapow? But that song is great, man. And I listen to it.
A good track.
I listen to it quite often.
She had a really nice voice.
Indeed.
It was a very heartfelt jam.
This one, I actually just listened to it on the way out here. And what I like about this is I think this, I don't even remember this song from the radio. To me, this is specifically a video one-hit wonder. And it was the first video played on MTV. Of course, the Buggles. Video killed the radio star.
Yeah, I don't ever recall ever hearing that anywhere but MTV.
I don't think and it was probably only played on MTV for a period of time.
Didn't Trevor Horn write that song?
Oh man,
didn't he have something to do with them before being a producer and then joining Yes?
Oh my God!
For Yes's,
it says right here, Trevor Horn and Jeffrey Downs, produced by the Buggles.
Jeffrey Downs was a member of Yes too, wasn't he? Later on,
maybe. How weird, man.
He basically reinvented Yes with that 90218 record or whatever the hell it was called.
Right. Yeah. Here's another little tidbit. It came out in 1979, but the video, like we said,
dropped in
81 when MTV hit. So
I don't remember.
It even has a song on the other side called Kid Dynamo, which I don't think I've ever listened to.
And I don't know that I've ever heard that song start to finish. Because I didn't have MTV when MTV first came out. So you just hear snippets of it of like, oh, this was the first video played on MTV.
Well, it does have these iconic little moments in the song. So obviously the chorus is catchy and it's an earworm. Video killed the radio star. But then the little part of In My Mind, in my car, and then you've got this little guitar thing in there, this short little guitar riff. I think it's a really pretty song. It just unfortunately became kind of obnoxious from just being so associated and probably just hearing that little clip of the chorus repeated over and
over again till your ears bled. Where am I? I'm at number 14, going to 89. Number 3 on the Billboard charts off the album Raw Like Sushi. The one and only Nena Cherry with the Buffalo Stance. That whole first record of hers
it's a great record.
I love it.
Nothing measures the impact of that one song.
No album she'd put out after that was as good either.
Probably not, although when you might have thought that she really had disappeared, she has made records in recent years, and her last one came out maybe 3 years ago, and I read a little review of it, and it inspired me to check it out, and I actually thought it was a really good record. One of the best songs on the record is based on the Groove from 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover by Steve Gadd on the drums. Obviously, it's Paul Simon, but anyway, she's very artistic, and she's continuing to make.
She came from
cool
an artistic family. She has
a
very unique backstory. If you should ever decide to want to research that, but I would love to see a throwback tour with her and the gentleman we were talking about before we rolled tape of Terrence Trent and Darby.
Yeah, no doubt. I cannot express how much I love the song Buffalo Stance.
It's a great.
It's
a jam.
It slaps every time.
Yeah.
It feels like
she's so amazing on it. Great video.
Yeah, and it it doesn't feel like it's based on some kind of shallow trope. It's really kind of an empowering song of that era.
I could only have one Buffalo song on it, so I wasn't going to put Buffalo Girls. I don't even know if that's 80s. That could be 70s.
It is. That's 80s. Yeah, Malcolm McLaren's Buffalo Gals.
But I went Buffalo Stance.
Yeah,
you kind of had to.
Dude. I'm with you on that. So you're gonna start to see some of my stuff here.
I'll try not to.
So earlier we talked about celebrities or actors who had a side career with some music. This one, the video again was the driving force initially. I saw the video. Then she went on to do a short-lived sketch comedy show that launched one of the biggest, longest-running television shows in history, Tracy Ullman.
Yeah,
and the song is called They Don't Know. And it's a very sweet song about...
it's another one of those throwback songs, right?
It very
they
much
were
is.
trying to recapture like the 50s or the 60s.
It's a very sort of 50s nostalgic feeling song, kind of about... two teenagers in love that their parents don't understand what they're feeling and stuff like that. or maybe even society looking upon them. I'm not too versed in the actual meaning in the lyrics, but the whole album that this comes from is wonderful, and it's mostly cover tunes, probably all cover tunes. Um, the album has a great title too. It's called "You Broke My Heart in 17 Places," but it's all based on that 50s and 60s doo-wop, girl group, soul, and early rock and roll.
If you don't know the,
it's done very well. It's not a cheesy thing. It's a really good record.
If you don't know the show that he was referring to was The Simpsons.
Oh yeah,
the very first Simpsons episodes, or what ended up being
those first animated cartoons.
A very raw
version was a feature on her television show, which was just called The Tracy Ullman Show, and so Dan Castella or something like that was
on it.
One of the actors who does Homer Simpson and many of the other characters on The Simpsons. Anyway, bona fide one-hit wonder. Nobody would know any other song by Tracy Ullman.
No, I didn't even know she had a whole record.
Yeah.
Picture a helicopter landing. As the helicopter lands, a man walks out clad from head to toe in leopardy print, is handed a guitar. He's got to get to the warehouse. How does he got to do it? Strums his guitar, makes a laser, blow the door open. 1982, Aldo Nova, Fantasy.
That was a great setup for that.
Right?
I know that's... I was riveted. I was totally riveted.
Number 3 on the mainstream rock.
I was like,
chart,
is it going to be a Jackal song?
Right? Yeah. Number 3 on the mainstream rock. Number 23 on Billboard.
I know that song, but I never really got familiar with
poppy
Aldo
metal,
Nova.
Right?
And the name Aldo Nova was always kind of this enigmatic, weird thing to me. Like, what does that mean?
Is that a person's name? Such a banger.
Is that a band name?
Oh man,
yeah,
I can hear it. Yeah, but I had to do the whole, just the outfit and then he rocked out. I mean, it's just such a song you would hear at the fair.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Inside the Gravitron,
like grooving. Love it. Number 13, Aldo Nova, 1982, and thrash is really starting. You know, it really took hold in '83, but it started before, and you had people that picked sides. They would only listen to one thing or another, but you missed out on some really fun, awesome tracks if you didn't love Fantasy.
Oh, for sure.
But if you were out there sporting a Slayer t-shirt in '84, you weren't really... you didn't want to admit that Fantasy was your...
I think that Aldo Nova somehow was like, I don't know, out of time for me or something. It didn't come to my zone. Maybe older people
Cynthy
liked
and
it,
Poppy and
maybe I was too young to appreciate it or something.
Maybe it could be.
This next one already got talked about, but it ranks high on my list. Do 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 do. You know. He had a follow-up hit.
Dude,
he had a follow-up
Sign
chart.
Your Name, Across My Heart.
But it just did not have the impact.
Look at this guy.
Dude. That song just did not have the same impact.
I mean, he charted with it.
So maybe not the most legit one-hit wonder.
I love this dude.
But also...
What a track that is.
Terrence Trent D'Arby, he did a follow-up album to this as well, but he just faded, man. He didn't...
Yeah,
he didn't click the way he hoped to.
What was he? Where was he? What?
It's really sad. You know, I mean, I don't know where he would have fit. Maybe if he'd come along a little later. Maybe. I mean,
yeah, maybe.
You know, Prince was riding high, and then not long after this, you had like Lenny Kravitz come in so that kind of soul and rock crossover.
Yeah, does Lenny Kravitz have a path to walk down if that dude doesn't blaze a trail?
Maybe not, man. I mean, this guy was not as hard rocking, but
no,
it wasn't. It was.
Man, could he write
lyrics? It was
lyrics?
Closer to the pop rock realm than the R&B realm. It didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't connect with R&B fans
because it didn't. It had soul for rock tracks, but not enough soul for soul tracks.
Yeah.
So he was caught in this weird middle ground. But man, it's so good, so catchy. So
I never
unique.
get sick of this song, dude. I play it all the time. This is a sophisticated pop tune with real emotion
across my heart. I
love
that track.
Little flimsy on the one-hit wonder, definitively. But
no,
is anyone going to remember anything? Yeah,
nothing hit like that. Even the song I love more doesn't hit like that.
Yeah.
When that song broke, dude, everybody was like, you had that hook caught in your head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like you would just be like,
oh man.
A band from Europe, while they were touring across America, wrote probably their biggest hit. And they had other records. I don't know that I can name them, and I don't know. And even though I kind of liked this band, I don't think I can name any of their other tracks. I think because they reminded me, I was very heavy into the Jesus and Mary chain, and they kind of reminded me as a lighter version of Jesus and Mary chain. So I kind of 1988 peaked at number 24 on the Billboard charts, Under the Milky Way by The Church.
Yep.
But I mean, iconic. Still, I mean, schools of children cover the song now. So it's and
that's another
song
example.
Is in the zeitgeist.
That's another example of a band where it's kind of unfair to refer to them as a one-hit wonder because they didn't drop a track and then disappear.
No,
and they didn't even have huge success under that one song. They made a bunch of records, but that would be the most recognized song by them. It also, I think, was kind of merging that college rock, that kind of underground alternative rock into like the MTV 120 Minutes world.
Yes, which I love. I love.
Kind of bridging the gothic stuff with the kind of ethereal alternative rock sound.
I love bands that can make something sound so atmospheric. Like early Cure does it very well, and this song, I mean, you feel the what's going on.
I love that song. I don't want to take over your moment here,
but
oddly enough, that record with that song on it has become one of those semi-holy grail records, just because after all these years, I've never found a used copy of it. It's never popped up.
Yeah, nobody ever gets rid of it.
And I see people revering that record now on music appreciation sites and stuff, and it's like, so now it's become a thing. I'm like, when am I going to get that dang record?
You might not ever find one.
I could order it online.
And all that, takes the fun out of the hunt.
Yeah, I only do that for certain things, and then other records, it's like you just want to wait till you find it in the wild, man. So yeah, those guys were cool, man.
Yeah, very alty, very, very, very 120 minutes esque. I think, and that's probably the first place I heard it. Was 120
I did
minutes.
Definitely for me. So this next one, I keep referring to the VH1 100 greatest.
I definitely perused it quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I needed a little thing to remember some of that stuff
for sure.
Yeah, and I found another list too that helped. And so anyway, I don't want to sound like an arrogant ass, but when they aired,
I wish you'd once or twice.
I probably
sound like an arrogant ass. I would love it.
I probably should say I should stop sounding like an arrogant ass.
No, I wish you were an arrogant ass more. It would make me look less of an arrogant ass.
I'm not helping you, man. So back when VH1 did that show of counting down all the one-hit wonders of the 80s, they were ranked, and I was watching it, and they showed it in parts. Like it was maybe over
like 4 or 5.
Yeah, because they probably did like 20 at a time.
Yeah.
And at the time, as they were getting closer, like within the top 20 or top 10, I made the prediction that this song had to be number one. It was just kind of based on my feeling about this song as a great.
Talk about something you can't name any of their other tracks.
Right. And it came to me that like this song has all the elements of a great one-hit wonder tune. It's a great tune. Everybody connects with it. Everybody has heard it and knows it. I didn't put it in my top 5.
Thank you, because it's not top 5 worthy.
I don't think it is anymore for me. At the time, I was like, that's going to be the number one.
Those shows make me so mad because I never agree with their top 10 ever.
I kind of agreed with it at the time. At least I was predicting that was going to come out on top. But it is not my overall favorite. I do think it's a good song. Anyway, I haven't even said what it is. Dexy's Midnight Runner. Come On, Eileen.
The best part about that is the memes of the ladies with the name tag Eileen, and then there's it's like a Halloween costume. That is
right. I have seen that.
For those of you that love ska and the third wave of ska, especially with all those fun punky ska bands, Save Ferris did a wonderful cover of that song.
Cool. There are some fans of this band that are always like, come on, this is a great band.
I have not ever met one fan of Dexy's Minute Runners in my entire life.
I've met a few. I've met a few, amazing. And they're real hardcore.
I bet they know each other.
Yeah.
There's like 3 of them.
They're pen pals.
Right?
They put out zines just about
Runners. And they're real short too.
Get really,
it's like 1 page.
They get really uppity about it. That's not their only good song. They were a great band. Well, I'm sorry.
That's not the criteria.
They didn't do anything else that hardly anybody ever.
Having great songs doesn't mean you had hits.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
And I have that record, and I don't really
ever play it.
No.
Yeah, because why would you? I never really got that. I mean, don't get me wrong. That song is catchy as hell, and at some point, it was very.
It is a good song,
fun, but then it definitely wore out its welcome.
Yeah, it's
fast,
way played out. Indeed.
I'm trying to think of how old I was in 1982. 1982, I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm very glad that I was 10 years old, because when this video came on, I immediately fell in love with this woman, only to find out she was only 15. Mm-hmm. When this band first formed, she was like 13 years old.
I know.
Right? You know where I'm going with that? So I'm so glad that she was age appropriate. She was discovered in a laundromat singing. And we're talking about Annabelle Lewin. And if you recognize the name, then you're going to know 1982's cover of the song I Want Candy.
Originally by the Strange Loves.
By her band Bow Wow Wow.
Bow Wow Wow.
Assembled by McLaren, wasn't it? Didn't he?
I could see him being involved in that
band too.
And again, a band who really was not a one-hit wonder group. They had some other great tunes. They had several records, but that's the song people know.
And it wasn't even that. Again, the MTV pushed it into, because it only hit 62 on the Billboard, 36 on the dance, 22 on the mainstream rock. So it wasn't like it was a smash. But that video was on constant
kind of
rotation.
Tropical island party kind of thing going on.
And she was, and it may be why she became disillusioned at a certain point in time, because she was heavily pushed at an age where, looking back at it now, it's like, oh, that's hella creepy. She was very sexualized for being only 15 years old.
I feel like part of her story is that she had to gain some legal adult status or something to be doing that. Like maybe some emancipation kind of thing.
She has a great voice. I think she still does tours and does some stuff today. But she has an amazing. I really liked her voice.
I think the fact that she was free within herself and comfortable with herself as a young woman, they tried to play that into sort of.
I mean, can you imagine fronting a band like that at 15 and then touring the world? And I would have not handled that well. I would
Yeah.
definitely be
Very
a drug addict right
powerful.
now.
Very powerful young woman and voice of that time.
Yeah,
Like
she
you
does
had-
not see, like that voice does not. You're not like, oh, that girl's 15. She didn't look
No, I
15.
know,
She didn't
I
sound
know.
15. Like that voice belted.
They were coming from this kind of post-punk into new wave kind of realm.
Yeah.
This weird tropicalia mixed with a kind of a angular post-punk thing.
Great little riff.
Real percussive, kind of more
Iconic video.
Yeah, they were awesome, man. I love Bow Wow Wow. That's a great pick. I thought about that one. For sure.
Left it off.
Yeah.
Good.
I had so many.
Good.
But I think maybe I'll grab one that dovetails fairly well with that.
I'm intrigued.
This band, I think they wanted to go a little farther. I wish I could recall the story. I've read about how they ended up just kind of falling apart. Another unique female voice, very kind of powerful tone and attitude in her voice. I think what appeals to me is the feeling of kind of a snotty attitude, but it's not like asshole-ish.
Man, I'm trying hard to.
And even though I consider this
something.
a one-hit wonder, they also had a Christmas song that is one of my favorite Christmas songs. I don't know
Now
why
I'm really stumped.
I don't know why they did a Christmas song, but anyway, I don't have this on a 45 single. I have the 12-inch,
Man.
the full album. The Waitresses, I Know What Boys Like.
Yeah.
This song is always a banger. It always slaps. You put it on at a party, everyone's stoked.
Makes me think of
There's
Fast Times at Ridgemont High for some reason, and I don't even think it was in the movie.
Probably not, but it just has
that same attitude.
It just reflects that kind of vibe of the 80s. Sadly, I can't remember her name. They kind of were bridging no wave and new wave. It was the
punk attitude without the punk.
Yeah, and it's it does a very obvious melodic hook to it.
Yeah, it's a really weird
It's more
structure.
based on this kind of thin, distorted guitar sound, very angular, very spatial between the bass, drums, and guitar, and then her kind of monotone, snarky voice over the top. But it's a catchy as heck tune.
Also kind of ties in with that band. I can't think of the name of the band now, but you know the song Like You Better If We Slept Together.
I almost put that on my list. That's
like
Romeo
those two
Void.
songs are like
Romeo Void.
Yes.
Never Say Never is a song by Romeo Void. Yeah, I thought about putting them on the list, but I figured that one was enough.
Yeah, that could have definitely been a twofer, and I
could have done a twofer.
Gladly.
If you were doing a DJ set of some kind of punky dance music, they would fit together real well.
I was shocked. I pulled this one out of the ether because every list that I researched to come up with little deep dives and see where my brain was, this song wasn't listed on any of them, and to me, it is so hooky, so catchy that I'm just like, I can remember them being on American Bandstand. I think they even got on Soul Train, which always watched for the dances. I was very into that. 1985 hit number 7 on the Billboard chart, which I was like shocked. According to them, it was not about sex, but achieving your goals. Sly Fox. Let's Go All the Way.
I almost put that on my list. I don't know why I didn't. I love that song.
So, and they were two, like, you couldn't have put two more opposite dudes in a band to sing. It was...
Dude, I had received a big contribution of 80s 45s not that long ago. And of course, I combed through it to get the singles that I wanted in my collection. That stuff doesn't sell that well.
Yeah.
I sell some here and there. And I'd combed through it a couple times, harvesting. And then I heard another DJ that I watch his live streams play that song. And I went, I forgot about that song. That song is
So
incredible.
good.
Then, to my good fortune, going back through those boxes
was
of
in there?
8045s, it was in there,
So
and I was stoked. And I don't even know anything about those guys, really.
Nothing. I don't know.
I'm so glad you pulled
one
that out
single
of
thing.
the
I
ether, man.
love that song so much
Dude,
that I
it's
had to
such
make
a unique
and it's
song.
it went all the way up to it's number 10. That's my number 10.
It's such a unique song because the way the song opens up, it's like this intense, kind of heavy thing.
Yeah.
I can't even describe it because
So good.
I can't hum it or anything, but it's kind of a don't digga digga
Yeah.
don't digga digga, and you don't quite know where the song's gonna go until the vocals kick in, and then it's kind of a sexy tune. Man,
Sorry, I had to text my
that is
lady.
a one-hit wonder.
Love
And
it. Yeah, they never. What did they ever do after that? And they were so not like huge, but they hit pretty big and then just disappeared. But man, when that song is so infectious, when it comes
that song
on,
is
you're
a
just
banger,
like,
dude.
bam!
That is a banger of a tune.
Yeah, number 10,
Heck
Sly
yeah, man.
Fox. Great
Sly
name.
Fox.
Speaking of 45s, I had Samantha Fox's Touch Me 45 that I promptly, very carefully so I could put it up as a poster because the whole thing.
Oh,
if you ever find that one again,
okay, yeah.
Get that one for your boy.
Man, this song was just right at the turn of 1980, and it really is kind of bringing in some 70s. It's a disco track, but it's a
cover. Yeah, was it a cover?
Yeah, I believe it was. It's been covered.
Yeah, that's one of those things that gets covered a lot.
But it's a new style disco song. So it
was a modern take on the
and it's a DJ staple.
Yeah, I recognized it just from looking at the back of the album.
Everybody knows this song. Sometimes people don't know the name of the artist that made this song. The song is Funky Town by Lips Inc.
I miss 80s album art. Yeah. Like, look at that.
And this is actually just a 12-inch single. I think it's an extended single with a few extra songs. But Pseudo Echo is the mid-80s band that covered this. Had a pretty big hit. You could almost call them a one-hit wonder with that as
I can't recall anything they did.
This is a DJ banger. Every DJ has this. If you're into disco, 80s pop, hip hop, dance music, whatever. And it's also a great one because you can take a pee break.
Yeah, one of those
It's long enough to go
take
a
tracks
break.
That you can.
It goes through these different phases in the song. It's got this kind of unique build up till you actually get to the Funky Town chorus part of it.
Nice little synthy track to it.
So to me, this is a super bona fide one-hit wonder.
I'm about to touch on number 9, but before I do, show them how you packaged your top 5. The secrecy level that the man has put in to his top 5.
It like we're playing Clue or something.
So that
I had to put them
so that nobody will see
in the secret file.
So number 9 had a huge. It was played in Weird Science. It was played in Clueless. 16 Candles, number 27 on the Billboard chart. 1984. We All Need a Little Tenderness.
Oh yeah,
by General Public.
I played that song last night.
Another great band that kind of had feet in different worlds, but were just so clever, so unique, so great. I really liked them.
That was the group was someone from the Jam, and
I can't remember where they came from.
General Public.
Yeah, where they came from before that to hook up and create General Public. But
yeah,
I should know. Like
that is a great tune. The piano line in that is beautiful. It's kind of
because they had the other song too, where they were where he's sitting in the pub and he's reading a book.
Mm.
And I can't think of the name of the song now. But they were great. They were a great band.
That's a song that would go good with like Fine Young Cannibals.
Yeah. Little vibe.
I really like that song. Didn't make my list.
And he has such a unique, like, their voices are almost, you'd think they were flipped. Where he has kind of
one voice should come out of the other.
Yes. Where his voice is kind of deeper and kind of soulful, and he's, the other one's kind of more, Yeah, great band.
It was cool. They just for some reason didn't go far.
I don't know how too, because that song was massive.
Maybe they had egos that clashed or something, or
I don't know. Unfortunately, and his name escapes me. He passed away not too long ago. So we'll never get the general public reunion nostalgia tour.
Was it
number 9? Inching ever so closer.
We're getting there
to what could possibly be number
Whoever's
1.
watching us live right now, you're really hanging in there.
I can't, and I hope we hit the same. I hope we're both hit the same number 1 again.
I'm hoping the same thing because it'll be fun. I have an inkling, but this one's too unpredictable, man.
This one's crazy unpredictable.
So.
Very
this is another, like I said with that other song, something that I hadn't heard in years, and I heard it and I went, "Oh shit!" And
the fact that you have the whole record, just
I had to order it. I actually had to go online because I really had to have this. You out there probably know this already as a solo effort, but if you didn't know, you might think it was ABBA.
It's her third. It's her third solo record, and the first one she did in English. The first 2 are in like Swedish or some shit.
Wow. Yeah, so the song, I wish I had the 45 single of it. I Know There's Something Going On by Frida.
Yeah, such a banger. Such a banger.
From ABBA.
1/4 of the wonderful.
We love ABBA so much.
I'm such a huge.
This song has some of the most massive sounding drums.
Giorgio Moroder wrote some songs.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is, right here.
Yep. Phil Collins.
I'm not even going to tell you only that. I'm not gonna go any further. Maybe you'll see it. Produced by one and only Phil Collins.
Yeah. So that huge gated snare drum sound.
Yeah, that's why the drums are so thick on this. That's why it's a little bit darker, a little bit, more than what you would see on a typical ABBA record.
If you heard that and assumed it was ABBA, you'd go, "Oh man, that's a heavy ABBA tune." But yeah. So she's not
video.
She's not really a one-hit wonder. I mean, ABBA is a 40 or 50 hit wonder, but this song is what people know by her as a solo artist.
By solo records.
And I think it's such a great tune that has that one-hit wonder feel about it. So I had to put
almost
that in there.
Synth wavy-esque kind of, that synth line that kind of drives, and then that drum beat and that.
Yeah, it fits right in with all kinds of 80s synth pop stuff.
We might talk about it.
You're thinking about making some changes?
No. I'm just looking at where I am.
You're locked in, dude.
So this is where I cheated. Not really cheated, but I couldn't put one on the list and then leave the other 2 off. They kind of all are the same. They have a thin thread.
I think that's fair.
1985, 1984, and I can't even read my own notes. 1986, maybe. Eddie Murphy, Party All the Time, written by
Rick James.
Rick, on hit number 2. All I Need, 1984, by Jack Wagner, also hit number 2 on the billboards, written by Glenn Ballard.
Okay.
Who helped co-write a lot of Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill.
Okay.
And so if you recognize that name and the greatness of that record. Don Johnson, Heartbeat. Cover song of a tune from 82, but he didn't break it till like 84 or 85. Hit number 5 on the Billboard chart. Prominently played on the GTA video game, whatever incarnation of that.
So what is this thin thread that you're alluding to?
Actors.
Oh, okay. Of course.
And if you remember the Don Johnson video and the little trivia I gave to Jay, who was the guitar player in that video and on that track? Son of a legend.
I don't know it.
Dweezil Zappa played guitar on that.
Holy moly.
And Lori Singer was they're in some war-torn area, and she's filming for some reason filming Don Johnson singing about a heartbeat in the middle of some crazy. But I couldn't put on one without the and all I need is the one that kind of gets lost in the shuffle, that heartfelt All I Need by the Jack Wagner, who was huge on General Hospital or one of those soap operas.
And he released.
I mean, he was no Rick Springfield, but that was a decent ass.
He
song.
released 2 or 3 singles, probably. Jack Wagner. So, do each of those songs rank that high for you, or at that
as
little
the
bundle,
collective?
in that little bundle?
They
there?
hit number 8 as a collective because they're just so unique and poppy and cheesy and fun.
The two non-Eddie Murphy ones don't really register much for me. The Eddie Murphy track's a banger, dude. That is an all-time party banger.
For sure.
But
you got to go back and watch the videos.
Yeah, probably.
You got to. You got to put the visuals with the sound.
I'm with you there. But that Eddie Murphy track, it just sounds like Rick James. But Eddie Murphy's singing it, and Eddie Murphy does a serviceable job singing
And
that.
I don't know if Eddie was talking outside of his neck about whatever, but the whole impetus behind him having a single in the first place is because he made a $100,000 bet with Rick James or with Richard Pryor that he could sing.
Nice. No
So,
shit. No
I don't
shit.
know if he ever collected that bet, because that track is, you don't know anything he ever did after that.
No, I mean, he tried.
Because Rick James wasn't writing his material for him.
I actually have another 45 single. I can't think of the name. That's actually a decent song.
I mean, that is a Rick James
another
track.
funky little track.
That is a Rick James.
Dude, it sounds like
you can
Rick
hear
James.
Rick James singing that song. Like Rick, could have been.
Yeah.
That could have been his song.
And it's him singing backup on it.
Yeah.
He echoes.
Yeah. And playing
all the
bass.
time. Yeah. Yeah. It's totally.
I miss you, Rick James.
But Eddie Murphy pulled it off, man.
He did. Number 8.
Right. Yeah. We're at number 8.
No, that was my number 8. So
Okay.
we're at your number 8. Whatever
My
your
number
number 8 is.
This next one is an artist who I think this is really fair to classify as a one-hit wonder, but this song actually doesn't even stand out that much from the whole record. The whole record sounds pretty much like this song. Not a copy of the song. It's just like variations on an idea, but the whole record has this great what I call kind of funk. It's very Kraftwerkian. But this guy's name will only ever be associated with the song. Gosh darn it.
19.
Yes. Which I realized isn't even on this record. I grabbed this record instead of my single.
Show it anyway.
Instead of my single.
Show it anyway.
This has a song called Rainforest, which was also a big track. Sorry about 19 is the one that registers on the dang one-hit wonder chart.
That was a big track too, because I remember hearing it, and it was right around the time I think I was in 8th grade, because I did we had to, it's around the time you have to do your first real massive paper that you have to write that has to be 5 pages of written material. And course,
Like
I
when
went.
you're a senior?
No, like it was in 8th grade.
Oh, 8th grade. Yeah.
So we were, of course, I go above and beyond. I think I turned in like 10 or 15 pages on PTSD and soldiers coming back from Vietnam and all that kind of thing. Not knowing that years in the future I'd come back with my own. But that whole song was all about Vietnam.
I meant
like
to
how
grab the dang
how you
45.
synth popped a song about soldiers returning from war is
it's a brilliant tune, and
for real.
This was sitting next to these other 12.
No, it's good because you get to see them though.
Yeah, I guess you could almost call him a 2-hit wonder.
That's a pretty dope
Let's say
album cover though.
It is.
You gotta give it up for.
Let's say that Paul Hardcastle is a 2-hit wonder.
But I couldn't name one other song.
Well, the song Rainforest was big
I don't
too,
know that I've ever heard it.
But no, 19 was big track, and nobody will really remember anything else by him. So he's kind of a silly looking guy, but
dude, that whole got some desert.
But actually, if you like Kraftwerk and even like Africa Bambaataa or Herbie Hancock's Future Shock stuff, this
who doesn't like
this guy
Africa
fits right
Bambaataa?
in.
Where's that, dude? We need to have a discussion. 1988. This band got a little bit of love. They were the house band in a wonderful sex comedy called Hard Bodies. If you recall that film.
Sadly, I don't.
Somehow they hook up, and this is another one where they're not. They had other hits, but nothing ever dropped like this. They're going to be playing this until they're 105. Somehow hook up with Richard Marx, who co-writes the song, hits number 26 on the Billboard charts. They are seen as a one-hit wonder. Vixen, Edge of a Broken Heart.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Super catchy, super hooky, melodic in parts, but still kind of rocks. It's got all the telltale signs of. You say what you want about Richard Marx. He wrote brilliant songs.
He was writing songs for other people.
Yes, that first Richard Marx record, amazing. You gotta love it. The dude's got a gift.
I'm okay with that, I guess.
So, I wish he would have stuck with Vixen and helped them write more awesome
and
tracks.
That was their one.
Well, they had Crying, which was also a hit, but it never hit.
Yeah.
That they're seen as a one-hit wonder because of that song. But it is so.
I can't hear that song in my head from the title of it. I don't remember what it sounds like. And they were featured in the movie Hard Bodies?
They were the house band in Hard Bodies. They're one of my favorite teen sex comedies. Like, way better than Porky's. Porky's gets all the love, but this movie, that and Fraternity Vacation, if you remember that.
Fraternity Vacation?
You remember that one?
No. Man.
It had a very young...
I missed some good stuff.
Yeah, you did.
I feel like I have this memory of my mother taking me to see Porky's.
In the theater?
Wow. But she didn't.
Supremely cool.
But I don't think she knew
what it was going to be.
Going to be as racy or whatever.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and so we left pretty quickly into
when they go to hook up with the hooker and the dude breaks in and they all run.
Possibly, like.
And Pee-wee's running down the street naked. Like, your mom must have just been mortified.
Yeah. It was a mortifying thing.
And you couldn't have been enjoying it knowing, like, there's boobies on the screen, but my mom's sitting right next to me.
Well, I think I was under 5 years old or something.
Oh, my God.
Well, when did that movie come out? 77, 78 or something?
I think it was early 80s.
It was?
I don't know. I own it, but I couldn't tell you.
Well, I was old enough to remember that happening.
Oh, my God. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, why do we got to go? What's the problem here?
That's so funny. Well, yeah, number 7. Creeping on to the top 5. We finally get to see what's in your little...
Yeah, we're getting there. Both of these have been mentioned already. Should I just drop them both?
One. No, because then you're not going to have something to do for 6 before we break into your 5.
All right. Well...
oh, my God. Really?
Our awesome friend Jason,
yeah, he did.
The Metal Maniac, had this in his list, and I was so stoked that he thought of this song. This is another one of those ones where
I have no idea what they did other than that.
Nothing, dude. Nothing. Maybe they were dropping some other hits in England or something.
The fact that they
I
even
don't
came
know.
up with that one is
I
like,
don't even
where
know
the
where
hell
you
did
get the name
yeah.
Baltimora. What is that for?
Maybe
a
they
band
saw
name.
Baltimore on the map and thought it sounded cool. So
and then Tarzan Boy. If you don't know this song, look it up on YouTube or something. There's just this hook to it that just feels so good to me. But I was gonna say this is another one of those examples where I heard another DJ play it during an '80s set. We were actually playing together about 10 years ago. It was at the Jambalaya, and it was that instant recognition of I know this. This is awesome, but I hadn't heard it in so long.
and so many people will play the opening where he does that weird little vocal thing, and then they'll loop God, now her name escapes me. Laura Branigan. One of Laura Branigan's songs.
Self-Control.
Yes.
Yep.
And they'll loop them back and forth. Early mashups.
Yep, no doubt.
Work so perfectly together that I almost can't separate the two.
I don't know if that would be a one-hit wonder song, but I love Self-Control, dude. That's a
dope
dope
song. Great song.
That's a dope tune.
Great song.
I had that on 45, but I brought the 12-inch because I had the picture jacket for the 12-inch.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Number 6, number 1 on the mainstream rock chart, number 3 on the Billboard chart, was on the very first episode of Knight Rider. Got a little play in Wet Hot American Summer, one of my favorite camp movies. Also on GTA, however many millions of GTA games. 1981, the singer also played saxophone, Quarter Flash. Heart in My Heart.
Wow, okay.
I think they had another song that kind of was pretty good too, but really that one gets all the...
If I heard Hard in My Heart, I would know it right off, but that one didn't get on my radar.
I love
Quarter Flash was always a kind of... Who was Quarter
Them
Flash?
and the Motels.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put
similar?
some Motels on there, but Motels actually had 2 monster hits.
That Suddenly Last Summer.
Yep.
I love that song. The other one gets
Only the
Lonely gets a little grating to me for some reason.
I think The Lonely can play.
Yeah. That's not a bad song.
I love that.
But that one I feel like I heard more than I needed to. They're a 2-hit wonder.
They are.
There should be a whole other category of 2-hit wonders.
Yeah, but shouldn't we do 70s one-hit wonders or 90s one-hit wonders
before
we get into that?
I'm not saying we need to do it.
Man, there was some research.
There needs to be like a master list out there.
Yeah,
who are the 2-hit wonders?
Couldn't quite crack the top 5.
Yeah, that's probably a waste of time.
I mean, nothing's a waste of time on this show. We'll do it all.
Jay had this on his list too, right?
Yeah, I left it off because I knew one of you dudes were going to put it on there. When you think of one-hit wonders, isn't that what you think of first? Is that the first one that comes to your mind when someone says, just out of the blue, "Hey, name a one-hit wonder"? Would that be the first one?
No, not for me. But that's because Pop Goes the World. And they had another.
They had another one other than Pop Goes the World.
Yeah, but I can't think of it.
I didn't even know they had. So 3 songs, let alone 3 hits.
Yeah. So, I hear what you're saying though, because everybody knows "Safety Dance" by Men Without Hats. Even the name "Men Without Hats" just signifies a one-hit wonder.
You start singing that song and doing the dance moves in the field.
And I brought the album instead of the 45 single because the 45 single radio edit takes out almost the best part of the song, which is the extended dance break.
Yeah, because if your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine.
Not at all. So you have to have the album, or maybe there might be a 12-inch single that has the extended version of it. But
I have not heard one other song on this entire record. Not one.
I don't listen to the rest of the record either. But I love that song, man. The song rules.
Man. It never gets old, ever.
They were weirdos.
Weird. in the best way possible.
Yeah, man.
And that's what was so great about the 80s. You could just be strange.
1983.
Number 5. The top 5 had to be some. You had to do something.
I was thinking of putting on my
You do
checkered
it.
shades for the top.
Do you remember Nick Gilder?
Yeah.
So if you don't remember Nick Gilder, I think late 70s, wrote a banger of a tune called Hot Child in the City. Well, he co-penned a track in 1984 that hit number 1 on the rock chart and number 7 on the Billboard charts because of their lovely, wonderful lead singer, Patti Smythe.
Oh.
Scandal with the Warrior.
I listened to that song last night too.
She had the face paint. She was shooting down the walls of heartache.
Bang, bang.
I am the warrior.
I did not know that was co-written by Nick Gilder.
Co-written by Nick Gilder himself.
Another great little thing. Maybe we're going to mention it. She was almost tapped to replace David Lee Roth and Van Halen.
I was not going to mention it, but thank you for popping. She was.
So she
they were hanging out,
Yeah.
talking to each other. It was a real possibility. Man, that might have sounded.
That could have been.
We wouldn't have got
man.
any of those great Sammy Hagar tracks because he wrote the lion's share of all that. But man, it would have sounded fun.
If there's a parallel universe where that could have existed,
they could have got her for 3. That would have been dope.
Oh yeah, where they got Gary Cerrone or whatever. Yeah.
No fault on him.
No fault on him.
But her solo career is awesome.
She had a great voice.
Great voice.
The Warrior is just a great pop tune.
She's been doing stuff on YouTube where you can see her play some of these songs. And her husband, she's married to John McEnroe. Just in case you don't know. And he'll play like a little backup guitar while she's belting out the hits. Man, so it's really fun.
She must be a tough lady to be married to John McEnroe. What kind of fits is that guy throwing around the house when something doesn't go right? She
did pen a song with Don Henley. Sometimes love ain't enough. So
John McEnroe's got to be the bitch in the household.
I think he gets a bad rap. He's probably only a terror on the court.
I like John McEnroe.
I always love John McEnroe because I'm a fiery, talk shit kind of dude. So I really dug him. Look at him. He's breaking into the top 5.
I had to have these hermetically sealed.
I can't look while he makes sure he picks the right 1, 4, 5 because it'll be like, oh, fuck.
I know what I'm doing here because I have them in order.
Perfect.
Okay.
Number 5.
This one, I'm going to say I ranked this higher than maybe I should have in terms of its overall impact, but I love this song.
All right.
I think it's a timeless tune, and I did come to find out that this woman has been releasing, or this group fronted by this woman has been releasing music all along, but they only hit in the UK. They only had this one hit in America. So maybe for my top 5, not the biggest banger, but I never get sick of this song. I think it's a unique song. It's Breakout by Swing Out Sister. And if you ask anybody what hit song they had, they're only going to know this one. Anyone around here, at least. It's just such a unique tune.
Catchy tune.
I put it in here because of its unique vibe. And
broke a little, cleared a little way for people like Lisa Stansfield.
Yep.
And that who I adore.
Yeah, in a way, this is a later 80s tune, but this is kind of taking us into the 90s.
Yeah. That's a great tune.
I love it.
That's a great tune. She's a pretty, pretty, pretty woman, too.
Yeah. Unique voice.
Definitely. So my number 4 has already been covered. It had to be in the top 5 because I love me some ABBA. They're in my heart. Frida, 1982. A little bit harder edged than ABBA. Only hit number 41 on the Billboard. Something's Going On. Produced by
Man.
Phil Collins. It was produced by Phil Collins because Frida saw him on a TV show doing an interview. She was kind of obsessed with that album that he put out that had In the Air Tonight.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So she sees an interview where he's talking about, I guess, lyrical inspiration or whatever, and he says, well, going through a divorce, much like Frida, we were the ones that were wronged in the relationship. So she reached out to him to see if he would produce her solo record.
That's so
cool. He
cool.
did. So that's why you see his influence all over it. Glenn Ballard's influence all over it. The drums on that album, little bit. Again, going through that divorce, going through that pain, darkens the material a little bit in the best way possible. You get a really striking version of.
That's so cool, dude. I did not know that story.
Yeah.
That's so awesome that you picked that. We both
I
picked
love
Frida
that
tune,
song
man.
so much.
Like I said,
rivals anything that she did in ABBA.
I wish I could say I had been listening to that song all these years, but it took somebody else playing it, and I went, I know that. I've heard that before.
Every now and then, because I don't have cable and I pretty much watch all of my things through YouTube on my PlayStation, that every now and then I'll be like, man, I gotta hear that.
Nice.
And then I'll punch it up and I'll play the video, and I'm like, yeah, this song is so good.
That's rad, dude.
So that's number 4.
Heck yeah.
Frida.
What's my number
1/4
4?
of the greatest pop band ever assembled in the history of pop music.
Well, just like your number 4 was already covered, my number 4 was already covered, so we don't even need to talk about it that much. But I had already said, just one of the biggest songs for me. I never get sick of this song. It's a banger. Buffalo Stance by Nana Cherry.
Yeah. Both our 4s were females.
Nice. And I have managed to keep, even though it's not a picture sleeve, it's a colorful label sleeve, and I've managed to keep my 45 single in the same sleeve for as long as I've owned it. Well, I haven't owned it for decades, but getting close to that. It's getting closer to 20 years since I've had this.
Just a banger hit.
We already covered it. We already covered that. So
yeah, go listen to her whole first record.
Raw Like Sushi.
Raw Like Sushi.
All right, what you got? Number 3.
No band in 1982 sounded more like the future than Flock of Seagulls. I Ran.
Man.
Number 3, 1982. Number 9 on the Billboard chart. Number 3 on the top tracks. I thought that just is what music is going to sound like. It is. Everything about it sounded like Tomorrow.
Yeah. And you thought that's what haircuts were going to look like.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know that I can. I mean, I was 10, so, the 80s were just starting to get into full swing. So many things were happening. Synthy music was really
that's a
huge,
song. That's a song that people would also, if you said one hit wonder from the 80s.
Yes. Even though they had 2 or 3 other tracks on that album that were.
Yeah. And that is just their sound, and that song just typifies people's idea of pop music in the 80s.
Early 80s
new wave,
synthy, new wave sound is, and they just encapsulated it.
It might as
so
well be synonymous with the 80s.
Yeah. You can't deny that that first record had some.
I didn't put it on my list, but I love I Ran. That is a huge one-hit wonder song. Huge. But I think I also
know what his number 1 is going to be.
by
I know
by deductive reasoning.
Yes.
So I guess I'm mad that I don't have their first record. I have the follow-up. I think Flock of Seagulls.
I got it.
I think Flock of Seagulls is better than I Ran. They have a lot of amazing tunes.
Yes, they do.
And That's another thing that for some reason has come back into the lexicon. I hear a lot of people talking about how great Flock of Seagulls was. No, you don't know how great they really are. They weren't just the band that had that one song. And it's really true. They were a great band.
You know, VH1 has a lot to do with that. When VH1 was prominent and VH1 Classic started up, what did VH1 Classic start to do? Reunite the bands.
Oh, yeah.
Bring these bands back into
Oh, my
the
God, that lead
prominence.
singer not having his hair anymore.
No.
The
Irony.
first time you saw that, you're like, whoa.
Irony.
Poor guy.
Bad. Real bad. So that's number 3.
Nice.
Iran. But
you think you know what my number 1 is?
I'm almost 100. Like, if I'd bet money on it. But that's not even my favorite song. I think my favorite song from them probably be Wishing. Maybe Photograph. I had a photograph. No, that is Wishing. That's just the longer title.
Oh,
What's
Wishing I
the
Had a
third
Photograph
one?
of You, yeah.
Yeah, what's the third one?
The follow-up album that I have, there's a song called What Am I Supposed to Do? That I think
that's
is a
good
great
one.
tune.
Yeah, Wishing is my...
Yeah. And that was a pretty big hit, too, Wishing I Had a Photograph.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't explode like
Yeah.
Iran. But
I wonder about these charts, too. Like, did it have to hit the top 40 or did it have to hit the top 100?
No, because some of them didn't hit the top 40, but they were still huge.
Yeah. Because I think Billboard also even had a top 200
probably
list. And a lot of times formatted radio stations would go by the top 200.
I don't really put any credence in
Yeah.
the Billboard thing. I just thought it was an interesting addendum to...
Yeah, but it is a legitimized marker for how these songs hit when they come out, you know.
All right, what's your number 3?
I'm on to my number 3.
I think I know what your number 1 is.
Man, again, as a one-hit wonder, this is a band that has at least 6 amazing records. If you like this kind of stuff, this song also came deeper into their career as I guess maybe they were becoming more viable for a commercial hit production wise. The video for this song is so quaint and charming. I hate to call them a one-hit wonder band, but clearly this is going to be the only song that most people know by these guys. Our House, Madness.
Oh, man.
I was thinking about this song last night. They're considered
Ghost Town.
Ghost Town.
God, I love that song.
That is an amazing song. I just played that the other night. I was thinking about them last night with this song.
Yeah, talk about a band that's so much more than that song.
Indeed, for real. I mean, their first album alone is a breakthrough record.
Great.
And then they continued to make... What separates these guys within their sort of sphere of what's considered the second wave ska, the British new wave of ska,
love ska
is they weren't as hardcore ska.
Two-tone army kind of, yeah.
They were more kind of artsy and modish, but they fit in. I mean, they have the ska influence, and of course we're into that stuff. But almost kind of like the Kinks in a way. They kind of had this mature nostalgia built into their sound. The emotive feeling that comes through in a lot of their songs. It's wistful. It feels like it carries you off to a time that you miss or something like that.
Right.
And this song really feels that way. And it was on the list of one-hit wonders, and I think it's fair. And it ranks really high for me because the song just makes me feel something really, really happy but wistful at the same time.
Great band. Great band. I'm a huge lover of ska in all its incarnations. So
now,
and I think it might. I mean, realistically, they might have been the band that kind of broke ska for me in a way. I don't remember really hearing it before, and then I just had to listen to all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, all the specials and Selector and
all the specials,
Special AKA, and I'm sure there's some other great groups. Yeah, man, when British cats connect with the Jamaican reggae
always
roots.
good stuff.
They just had a way of interpreting that style.
Top 2.
So I wanted to say, if we're at our top 2,
We're not going to have the same number 1.
but that song has to be on your list.
I think my number 2 is your number 1. I'm almost positive that my number 2 is your number 1. There is only so much space on a list and only so much things you can fill it with. But when you're talking one-hit wonders, and again, a band that's so much more than their monster hit, they had other hits, but will always be remembered for this song. And they recorded it 3 times. They had 2 other versions of the song that didn't quite hit, but they knew they were onto something. And that third reworking, thanks to a revolutionary video on MTV with the, I don't even know how to explain it, 1985, number 1 on the Billboard. And if you want to cry, watch them do it acoustically.
Dude, I have that record.
Take on Me by Aha, which I'm pretty sure is going to be your number 1. It's my number 2.
Okay. I don't want to interrupt you.
Don't.
But since you mentioned the acoustic,
it's brilliant.
3 years ago or whatever it was, when I saw a post of that MTV Unplugged of them doing that acoustically
with people in the crowd sobbing.
I had to have that. I ordered it through my distributor. It had recently come out on vinyl. The whole show is amazing. It's a 3 or 4 LP set.
Man, that's crazy.
But I just could not believe I was hearing them doing that.
Did you see him playing it with his daughter?
No.
Yeah. Well, look at that one. It's amazing. I mean, I don't need to say anything. That's what they did in that video with it's a video, and then part of it's like it's illustrated, or
animated.
They're doing this.
It's illustrated over live action, but it's done in this sketchy, illustrative way that doesn't look like it's just.
If you walked into a nomadic cave in the middle of nowhere in the Middle East and started singing the song, a Bedouin would try to hit that high note.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah.
It's that universally loved, and it should be, because it's awesome from start to finish.
That song became a road trip song for me. Like when I got the kids and my girlfriend, if we went on a trip, we would have like a Pandora station on or something, and it would come on like once an hour or something. But we would never get sick of it.
You never get sick of it.
We'd just be like, yeah.
You never get it. It always lifts you until they sing it acoustically, and then you're like, God, this song is actually gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, and it's kind of devastating in a good way. You're right. If anybody says that they're sick of that song, I don't trust you.
That human. I've never met that human.
We don't need to be friends if you get sick of that song.
I don't know how it's possible. And for me, The Sun Always Shines on TV is a banger too.
It's a brilliant song, dude. They did have a lesser hit with that song.
And it's probably because the video is just not as good.
Yeah.
They just couldn't encapsulate that one the same way.
And I think the song is a little, it's not really darker. It's actually an uplifting song too. But Take on Me is massive, bona fide, one-hit banger of the 80s.
Smash.
Most people are not going to know The Sun Always Shines on TV, the average person.
I don't think so.
And the video is one of the most iconic videos that is still being used in commercials and things today.
I love my number 1. I love my number 1. But I think that, and I didn't really want to be a contrarian or anything, but I just thought that everyone would automatically think that was going to be number 1. So
it would be crazy if your number 1 is
your number 2 is not my number 2.
No. If my number Two is your number one.
I'll leave my own house.
It starts off
with an instrumental?
With a kickstart? No. This didn't make your list, bro?
Probably not.
Damn. This song just hits every single time. I'm never sick of it. I guess we're not in alignment on this one.
No.
That's okay, though.
No, that didn't make my list at all.
This guy's not really a one hit either. He had some other hits, but this does register.
Well, it's a great track.
For me personally,
I'm honestly surprised it's that high on your list.
Dude,
which means you left my number one completely off your list.
Guess. Well, we both did then.
I'm shocked.
We both left.
Yeah.
Off each other's
Shocking.
list. Well,
shocking.
Damn. Well, now I feel stupid.
And not Venus by Shocking Blue.
I guess I should feel stupid.
No, you should not.
But dude, this song, if I was DJing every night, I would want to play this song every night. Even if people were like, dude, quit playing that tune.
Never.
It just...
What? Who would ever say that?
The doodaloo-doo, doodaloo-doo, oi. Just the whole thing. It just rocks to me.
Pineapple Express.
Yeah. Electric Avenue, gonna rock down to Eddie Grant.
And then we'll take you higher.
If I could sing, I would sing it right now. I'm terrible at singing.
It's infectious. But, how many times have we said that tonight?
I mean, he had Romancing the Stone. He had a couple of...
Yeah, that's right.
Bad Boys on the Corner or something like that. But anyway, to me, this is timeless. It slaps every time. It hits me in the feels. It just...
One of those English, Jamaican kind of mashup a little bit.
I just had to put it up there, man, because I think for all time for me, this is...
Good. It's a good track.
All right. Well, you spoiled my number one, so I don't get to know.
I'm right, aren't I? I knew it.
I don't get to know.
Once I didn't know it until we started getting deeper. Once we got to 10, and I'm like, and we got to 5, and I was like, oh, I know exactly what it is.
Now I don't know what your number one is.
You don't. And you didn't put it on your list. Jay put it on his list, though. So, Cat has already been let out of the bag. I think that the song didn't originally have this opening, but when they added a little bit extra to the intro, it just made it that much. Starts off with a simple little guitar riff. 1985, number 6 on the Billboard, number 7 on the mainstream. They wrote it in 20 minutes. It's not even about a real person. The whole storyline of the song was invented, and I can't stop singing it every time it comes on. Your Love by The Outfield.
Wow.
My number one.
That is your number one.
That is my number one.
Okay, I remember you reading it on Jay's list.
Super simple.
And that is a great tune.
Josie's on a vacation far away. Come around and talk it over. So many things I'd like to say. You know I like my girls a little bit older. Yeah, bro, shoot your shot.
I don't want to lose your love tonight.
I just want to use your love.
Use your love tonight.
That's just...
Didn't that dude just pass away?
Yes. Tony Lewis,
man. Rest in peace.
Yeah. They never got enough love.
They were probably
man, that
big.
Song is so damn catchy.
That is a great tune. That's a song that when it comes on the Cool 105 on the classics station, the pop classics.
That's the one I listen to at work all the time.
Yeah. When that song comes on, that's a real feel-good tune, man.
I think his name is Josh Hutcherson, the actor.
Oh.
He hosted Saturday Night Live. Haim was the musical guest, and they did one of my favorite all-time skits where they're in the 80s. She goes up, knocks on the door, looking for Josie. Her brother starts singing lines from the song. So she's saying things, but he's only singing lines of the song.
Weird.
Hilarious.
Weird.
And then Haim comes out, and one of the funniest things.
Man.
It'll live forever.
I'm a little surprised that is your number one-hit wonder. I mean, it's a great tune.
I mean, if I had a gun
It's a
put
great
to my
tune.
head, it probably would be number 2, and Aha would have been number 1.
But right, and that's
But-
fair because you're talking about what you love.
Yeah,
you love
but
that
I
tune.
really love
It may
this
not be
track.
as universally loved.
Yeah,
but
and I wanted to put a little. I wanted to shine a little
and
light.
those guys were probably bigger down under,
Probably,
but it
they
didn't.
do strike hard on the Aussie. They have like a Aussie list that they call it.
Yeah,
guys like them and
yeah. That would be funny if you were wrong. I had some other wacky tune.
There's no effing way.
But just like Clue, you solved it. You deduced.
I
what was in the
deduced
file.
because I know how much you love them.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Had to rank
Look
as
at
my
those
all-time
attractive
favorite.
human beings. Man, them Swedes or
Yeah.
Nords or whatever, they really do it right.
Yeah, they're Scandinavian.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is an amazing song. There's just no other way to say it.
That would have been crazy if
one
I
of
had
the
to outfield
greatest.
Your love.
No, it would have been crazier if that would have been your number 2.
That's what
Then
I'm
it
saying.
would have really,
That's what I'm saying.
man,
That would have been weird.
that would have tripped me clean out. We've been tripping each other out a lot lately.
But we were very close. Before I came over, I was actually hoping that we were both going to converge on the
Yeah,
one.
I
You
knew
had
that
to
we
screw
were
it
gonna be
up.
close. I did. I
with
ruined it.
outfield.
I ruined it all. Sorry.
Damn. So it's a little anticlimactic now.
No, it's brilliant.
Man, how many amazing pop tunes have we covered tonight?
So many.
And we could have gone on.
I'm so glad that we had such a wide range of
We could have gone
differences.
on for another 3 hours.
Probably.
Of hit tunes.
Probably. Speaking of hit tunes, one that didn't make my list that I thought about putting on here, I'll talk about a song that I love. It probably definitely would have been in the top 5. 87, before she hit big, Madonna was in this band.
Yes.
Breakfast Club. Song I'm talking about is Right on Track.
Yeah.
Which but I don't even think it was a hit. I just loved it. I remember getting the 45 from your store when it first came out.
Nice.
I loved it so much.
Well, yeah, the song.
And a Striper 45 that was yellow vinyl that someone stole from me that I wish I still had. Man, that would have been amazing now.
So the song that actually registers on the One Hit Wonders list by them is gosh darn it.
It's Right on Track.
No.
That's the one that broke big.
I know, but that's not the song that's on the list. It's
I never even saw them on a list. I looked for them everywhere.
They have another song, and I know it, but I just can't think of it right now. Right on Track is the superior tune. Though.
I love compilation.
Living in a Box. Sorry, the song "Living in a Box."
That's not them, is it?
Yes.
That's Living in a Box by Living in a Box.
No, that's a different group. The Breakfast Club has a song called
Living in a Box?
Yeah.
Living in the cardboard box.
Yeah.
That's Living in a Box by Living in a Box. Man, we're going to have to research that one. I love compilation records. This is a really great one. I've never, ever seen them do one for any other year. But, I mean, man, this has got Blinded with Science, Coming on Lean, Always Something There to Remind Me. Love My Way by Psychedelic Furs. I love the Psychedelic Furs. China Girl by David Bowie. Adam Ant. Scandal, not even the one I was talking about. Ultravox. So many jams.
Yeah, what's that
on this one?
called?
This is Classic MTV Class of 1983.
Wow.
I
recognize that.
I have all 5 volumes of
Oblivion.
this Living in Oblivion collection. I don't think it ever went past 5 volumes, but there's some really out there jams on these
those were
records.
good. The Living in Oblivions were cool.
I don't have any of the new wave hits of the 80s. If you guys have that whole series, give it to me, as well as Rock of the 80s. I love this series. There's like 15 or 16 or 20, and I only have like 2, so give them all to me.
I always felt like this series, though, shorted you a bit.
They did.
They stuck to, 9 songs on there? That was kind of a rip. But sometimes they would have a track you needed.
Yeah, that you weren't going to buy it. Like, I'm never going to buy a Tubes record, so talk to you later on this.
Are you going to ever buy the Sherbs?
No, I don't even know who that is. The Alarm, though, they were great. Red Rockers with the song China. That was Oingo Boingo. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I love all things yacht rock, and this was put out as a kind of a yacht rocky kind of set.
Yeah.
It has so many jams on here that I don't even know how they put them on a soft rock. Bachman Turner Overdrive, You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. That's not a soft rock. Free All Right Now. Heat of the Moment by
Oh.
Asia.
Well, yeah, those
I Was
aren't
Made for
soft-
Loving You by Kiss. Come on, bro. Like
those
that's
aren't
not
soft rock tunes.
I mean, Kiss has like 3 songs on this set. Leonard Skinner, that's not soft rock.
That's so weird.
But there's some bangers on here. I'm Not in Love, If You Leave Me Now, You're No Good by Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah, all they needed to do was just come up with a different title than soft rock. Yeah. Because all that
Rebel
stuff,
Yellow's on here. When did that become soft rock?
you can play all
Give
that
me a
stuff
break.
together. It mixes well together, but it's not
Never
soft
Gonna
rock.
Let You Go by Sergio Mendes.
Yeah.
Come on. Tom Sawyer by Rush is on here. It's like, whoever's making this, call me, because I'll make a better track listing than...
Well, the track listing's not bad. It's just
just some of the things. No, I
Yeah.
pulled those songs on here and put other things on here. I Touch Myself by the Divinos.
I love that
I mean,
song.
great jam, but
I
that's
love
not a
that
soft
song.
rock.
I love that song.
Chappelle is on here. How many from my list are on here? I just think that one is. Here I Go Again by Whitesnake. Since You've Been Gone by Rainbow. I mean, come on, bro.
Weird. That's not soft rock.
But I mean, 3 discs. I'm never getting
You
rid
could
of
call it like maybe MOR or something.
Soft rock forever. 3 discs of cheesy goodness.
Yeah, you think you're going to be getting that soft rock goodness.
Yeah, I thought it was going to
That
be more
smooth
yachty.
FM stuff.
More yachty.
Man, well,
We have no idea what we're going to do next week.
I'm pooped right now.
Yeah. Man, this was amazing.
I'm tired.
Please like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, tell all your friends. Get in the comment section. Give us your lists.
Yeah, even if you think we suck balls, say something.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to get some feedback. We're just having fun being
We're just having a
ourselves and
blast.
talking about music, so we're not trying to be anything but
Thanks
two
for-
middle-aged dudes having fun.
Thanks for hanging out for 2 hours. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Until next time, my friends. Fuck Amazon. Long live independent music stores. Long live physical media. Go get all your tattoos done by DNet Visual. Later, homies. See you next week.
Oh, man.